In the vast cosmos of Hindu mythology, where gods and celestial beings dwell in heavenly realms, there exists a class of divine musicians known as Gandharvas. These celestial artists fill the courts of the gods with enchanting melodies, their music transcending the boundaries between the mortal and divine worlds. But what happens when the divine musician's pride leads him to challenge the king of God himself? What becomes of a celestial being cursed to live as a monstrous demon? This is the extraordinary story of Vishwavasu, the Gandharva king, whose journey from grace to monstrosity and back to redemption weaves through one of Hinduism's greatest epics, the Ramayana. His tale is one of pride, punishment, and ultimate salvation, a reminder that even the divine must face the consequences of their actions and the redemption awaits even at the most fallen. Born to the great Prajapati Kashyapa and his wife Prada, Vishwavasu was no ordinary Gandharva. His musical talents were unparalleled, his beauty captivating, and his status among the celestial musicians unmatched. In the glittering courts of Indra, king of gods, Vishwavasu's melodies would entrance even the divine. His fingers dancing across the strings of his instrument, he filled the heavenly palaces with sounds so beautiful they could bring tears to immortal eyes. Vishwavasu in the heavenly court. The heavenly courts were my stage, the gods my audience. My music flowed like divine nectar, and all who heard it were transported to realms pure bliss. As a leader among the Gandharvas, Vishwavasu enjoyed privileges few could imagine. He served in the courts of both Indra and Kubera, the god of wealth. Earning their favor through his artistic gifts, he learned the mystical art of Chakshusu Vidya, the power of seeing all from Soma himself, and shared this knowledge with other Gandharvas. His presence was sought at the most significant divine events, from the birth festival of the great warrior Arjuna to the marriage ceremony of Draupadi. Even emperors of the mortal realm, like mighty Dilipa, requested Vishwavasu to play the flute during sacred sacrifices. But, as is often the case with those blessed with extraordinary gifts, Vishwavasu's talents fed his pride, setting him on a path toward a fateful confrontation. Seeking to elevate his already exalted status, Vishwavasu undertook severe penance, directing his devotion toward Lord Brahma, the creator god. Pleased with his dedication, Lord Brahma granted Vishwavasu a powerful boon, immortality. With the knowledge that he could not die, a dangerous arrogance took root in Vishwavasu's heart. The music that once served to honor the gods now fed his vanity. The beauty that was a divine gift became a source of conceit. With immortality coursing through my veins, what god could claim superiority over me? Even Indra, with his thunderbolt and throne, seemed diminished in my eyes. With the words of Vishwavasu. In the intoxication of this newfound power, Vishwavasu committed the unthinkable. During a celestial gathering with all the gods in attendance, he openly challenged Indra's authority. The court fell silent. The music stopped. All eyes turned to Indra, whose face darkened and gathering storm clouds. The king of gods, known for his quick temper and jealous god of his position, would not let such an affront go unpunished. Indra, in an angry voice, "You dare challenge me, Gandharva? You exist to play music for my pleasure. Your immortality will become your prison, not your freedom." Indra raised his mighty weapon, the Vajra, a thunderbolt of unimaginable power. The assembled gods gasped as energy crackled through the heavenly court. With a terrible crack that echoed across the heavens, Indra's Vajra struck Vishwavasu. But rather than destroying him, for he was immortal, the thunderbolt's power twisted and distorted his form. Vishwavasu screamed as his head and thighs were driven into his body. His arms stretched to impossible lengths. His beautiful face disappeared, replaced by a single eye on his chest and a gaping mouth on his belly. Once beautiful Gandharva king was transformed into a hideous, monstrous being, a Rakshasa now known as Kabandha, the headless torso. Vishwavasu as Kabandha, speaking in anguished voice, "What have I become? My music, my beauty, my dignity, all gone. How will I survive in this grotesque form?" Seeing the creature before him, even Indra felt a pang of pity. Though he would not reverse the punishment, he granted Kabandha a way to sustain himself and a path to eventual freedom. Your arms will reach for miles to catch your prey, and your belly mouth will consume what you catch. This will be your existence until the day you encounter Lord Rama, avatar of Vishnu. When he serves your arms, you will be freed from this form and return to your celestial state. With these words, Indra banished Kabandha from the heavenly arms, casting him down to the forest of the mortal world. Some versions of the tale tell that it was not only Indra who cursed Vishwavasu. The sage Stulshira, whom Kabandha later attacked in his monstrous form, added his own curse that Vishwavasu would remain in his hideous form for eternity. It was only when Kabandha begged for mercy that the sage modified his curse to align with Indra's, that Rama would be his liberator. Cast down from heaven, Kabandha found himself in the dense Krauncha forest. His new existence was a nightmare of constant hunger and isolation. The being who once created beauty now inspired only terror. With his grotesquely long arms, Kabandha would sweep the forest floor, capturing the animals and unfortunate travelers who crossed his path. Without eyes to see in the conventional sense, he relied on the single eye in his chest and his heightened sense of touch to detect his prey. Vishwavasu as Kabandha in a monstrous voice, "Hunger, endless hunger. My arms reach out for anything that moves. My belly mouth consumes without satisfaction. Is this to be my eternity?" The sages and hermits who had retreats in the Krauncha forest lived in constant fear of the monster. Travelers would take long detours to avoid the area known to be Kabandha's hunting ground. Stories of the armless torso with mile-long arms spread throughout the region, becoming cautionary tales told to frighten children. For years beyond counting, Kabandha existed in a state, neither fully alive nor dead, neither human nor beast, trapped between the divine being he once was and the monster he had become. And all the while, a prophecy was unfolding elsewhere. The prince of Ayodhya, Lord Rama, an incarnation of Vishnu himself, had been exiled to the forest with his wife Sita and brother Lakshmana. When the demon king Ravana abducted Sita, Rama's desperate search would eventually lead him to Kabandha's territory. The moment of potential liberation was approaching, though Kabandha, lost in his misery and hunger, had no way of knowing it. Guided by the dying words of the noble Ulcher Jatayu, Rama and Lakshmana ventured deeper into the forest, searching desperately for any sign of the abducted Sita. Their path led them into the Krauncha forest, directly into Kabandha's hunting ground. Sensing movement, Kabandha's massive arms swept across the forest floor. Before the brothers could react, they found themselves caught in an iron grip, being dragged toward a monstrous form. Rama speaks in surprised voice, "What manner of creature is this, brother? It has no head, yet it lives and moves." Lakshmana struggling against the grip. Lakshmana speaks in determined voice, "Whatever it may be, we must free ourselves from this grasp, brother." Struggling in the demon's clutches, Lakshmana called out to his brother, "Rama, the creature's strength lies in its arms. We must cut them off." With great effort, the divine brothers drew their swords. In a swift, coordinated strike, they severed Kabanda's enormous arms. A terrible roar of pain echoed through the forest as the monster fell to the ground, his primary weapons now useless. But rather than attacking further, Kabanda spoke to them in a voice that carried both monstrosity and a strange hint of nobility. Who are you, mighty warriors, who have succeeded where all others have failed? Tell me your names before I meet my end. When Rama identified himself, a change came over Kabanda. The rage in his single eye dimmed, replaced by what appeared to be hope. At last, Kabanda, in a hopeful voice to the Rama, "The moment of my liberation has come, Lord Rama. I am not what I appear to be. I was once Vishwavasu, a Gandharva king, cursed by Indra to take this hideous form until you severed my arms." Kabanda then requested that Rama and Lakshmana perform his funeral rituals, explaining that through cremation he would be released from his cursed form and return to his celestial state. The compassionate brothers dug a pit, placed a demon's body within it, and set it aflame with proper rituals and prayers. As the flames consumed Kabanda's monstrous form, an extraordinary transformation began. The fire burned away not just flesh, but the curse itself. From the pyre rose a radiant figure of extraordinary beauty, adorned in celestial garments and jewels. Vishwavasu restored to his original form. Vishwavasu, in a grateful melodious voice to Lord Rama and Lakshmana, "I stand before you reborn, O Rama. Your curse that bound me has been broken by your hands. My gratitude is beyond expression, but I offer what help I can in your quest." Knowing of Rama's search for Sita, the restored Gandharva provided crucial guidance. "Journey to the Rishyamukha Parvata, where dwells the exiled monkey chief Sugriva." Vishwavasu speaks with Rama in a helpful voice, guiding him to move to the Rishyamukha Parvata to meet Lord Sugriva and Lord Hanuman. Form an alliance with him, for he and his force will be instrumental in finding your beloved Sita. This advice would prove pivotal in Rama's quest. Following Vishwavasu's directions, Rama would indeed find Sugriva, form the alliance that would eventually lead to the discovery of Sita's whereabouts and ultimately to her rescue from Lanka. Vishwavasu, freed from his curse, returned to the celestial realms, his music now tempered with humility born from his long suffering. His story became interwoven with the greater epic of Ramayana, a testament to how even a small thread in the vast tapestry of this Hindu epic carries profound meaning. The story of Vishwavasu carries within it many of the central themes found throughout Hindu mythology. It speaks to the consequences of pride and arrogance, even among divine beings. It demonstrates that karma, the law of cause and effect, applies to all, regardless of their status. Yet, it also reveals the Hindu belief in ultimate redemption, that no fall is so great that it precludes the possibility of rising again. Vishwavasu's transformation from Gandharva to monster to restored celestial being mirrors the Hindu concept of samsara, the cycle of death and rebirth, and the potential for moksha or liberation. In Hindu tradition, Vishwavasu continues to hold significance beyond this tale. He is associated with the Vedic lunar calendar as Samvatsara, presiding over certain months. Some traditions hold that he possesses all girls from the advent of their youth and transfer them to Agni, from whom bridegrooms obtain them for producing wealth and sons. The Vishwavasu Gandharva Raja mantra is still chanted today by those seeking marriage, connecting modern practitioners to this ancient celestial musician. Vishwavasu speaking in a reflective voice to the audience. My story is one of many in the great epics, but its lesson stands eternal. Pride precedes the fall, but humility paves the path to redemption. Even the divine must learn this truth. As we reflect on Vishwavasu's journey, we might ask ourselves what transformations awaits us in our own life. What monstrous aspects of ourselves might we need to sacrifice in the fire of self-awareness before we can be restored to our true nature? For in the end, perhaps that is the greatest gift of these ancient stories. They hold up a mirror not just to the divine but to the human condition itself. Based on the Ramayana and Puranic literature, special thanks to the rich tradition of Hindu mythology that continues to inspire and enlighten. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe and click on the notification bell. Your support means the world and helps this channel grow. See you in the next one.